Hi everybody, it's Christine Bertram. I am coming to you live from the Hive here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. It's already halfway through April, you guys. It's the 16th today. And that means that tax day has passed us. Yay! I am definitely the worst of procrastinators that you could imagine, because I definitely didn't get my taxes done until yesterday. And it wasn't until about 6 o'clock. So at least it wasn't midnight, right? So I didn't wait till the last possible minute, but I got them done yesterday. Yay, woohoo. So that's exciting. So I was focusing more of my time and energy on doing them. I started on them on Sunday, and it took about 4 hours to get all my data input. And then I was like, oh, I'm 95% done. And then I didn't go back to them on Monday or Tuesday. And of course I waited till Wednesday because that's just how I roll. So, but then yesterday I had to spend a bunch of time on them. But I can say that they're in like Flynn. I love it. So got all my information in there. So let's get to my video and see who is all with me. We have the April monthly class tonight, and I see a whole bunch of you are here. Hi, Doris Munson. Hi, Hope Toy. 92 degrees in Virginia. Wonderful. I love it. Gwen Goat is here. I bet it's pretty hot by her as well. Hi, Bridget Rowe. And you're almost at 80. And you guys can see it's kind of bright and sunshiny here, so depending on which way I sit, the sun comes in. Hi, Susan Bellamy, and there's Nancy Mole. Hi, Trisha and Randy and Ann Bellinger. Hi, Debbie Gast. Click the like button. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that reminder. You guys, I don't always remember to tell people that, so I appreciate it when you guys remind me to remind people because it makes a difference. So, hi, Lynn Beasley. Hello, Sarah Mitchell. And Deanne Dawn is with us. Hi, Mary Jo Stoll. Shirley Natali. Shirley, I still owe you an email. I haven't had a moment to go through the list to figure it all out, but it's on my radar. It's on my radar, so I haven't forgotten. I have a humongous team meeting coming up on Sunday with the Be Happy Stampers. I do my meetings quarterly, and so it makes them a little bit more than doing a monthly meeting. So I've kind of switched gears out of tax mode now into design mode and then team meeting mode. And so we got Let's Just Stamp designed. When did we finish that? Yesterday. And then I got ink, paper, scissors finished with Kelly yesterday as well. And we've got Stampin Fun in the Sun 100% done. And we are almost done with the Sweet Bundle class. So that means that there's 2 classes left to design, and I'm trying to get them done by tomorrow before the weekend so that I can get stuff staged for my helpers, and then they have all next week to start working on prepping. So Shirley, and I know Maria Gilbertson, and I know Susie Fenlater. I owe all 3 of you an email back with your total. So working on it. it's here. I haven't forgotten. Hi, Anna Carter. Hi, Donna Gursky. And there's Feline and Mimi. Hello, hello. And Karen Green from Australia. Hello. So thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it, everybody. So we are going to be making the April monthly cards here soon. And I have them here that I can show them to you. My phone is almost dead. There, it's charging. So I'm going to show you what we're making in a little bit, and I'll do roll call soon. But I had mentioned that there's a whole bunch of stuff that we just designed, and I know that you guys like to see that stuff right off the bat. And it helps us gauge especially the Stampin' Fun in the Sun, that is the #1 question I have right now is how many should we prep for, which is AKA forecasting. And I don't want to over forecast and I don't want to under forecast. So I thought if I shared the projects with you tonight, this is an event that's coming up next month. I think this is the 3rd annual. And if I show you the projects, maybe it'll inspire people to get signed up, because sometimes we have to see the projects before you know if you want to sign up or not. So I want to show them off to you. And I have just a few things that I'll share with you before we start making cards. I am super pumped to show off the Winnie the Pooh Stamp-a-Stack that Kelly and I designed over the past week and a half. We've been working at it. 15 cards, and they are all finished as of this afternoon. So your kitchen is being remodeled. So craft room is closed for this month. Oh, goodness. So no dust gets in. All right. Well, that makes me feel a little bit less pressure to get that to you. So good. It's good to know that. I appreciate that. Hi, Julie Damaris. Hi, Karen Wetstein. And Feline says, I think I signed up. for that one, but I definitely want to go the to-go box. So I'm pretty sure you did, Feline. And there were actually, I went through the list just a little bit ago, and there were 7 people that signed up twice. And so I had to go through, and in here I thought that more like that meant that 7 extra people were signed up, but I do filters, and then I filter out when people sign up twice. I can see it when I sort it by their name, and then I take out all the doubles. And I had 7 people that did it twice, and it makes me a little sad because I feel like there's more registered than what there is. And so it's always great if you do register that you jot it down that you register. Normally you get an email saying that you registered too. So yeah, Feline, I'm almost positive that you've registered for the Stampin' Fun in the Sun. So don't do it again. So thanks for the thumbs up, Julie. Deanne says, don't forget about double award points yet today. Thank you for helping me remember that too. You guys, I don't come in with notes. So I don't know if you ever noticed that. I don't have a list. I used to make a list of everything that I'd want to talk about in a live, and I fell off of that bandwagon many years ago. So I appreciate that. Notice the public service announcement from Deanne. So yes, it is double award days right now. So it started yesterday, and today's the middle, and then it ends tomorrow. And so what does that mean? Well, so I remember when they first had double awards days last year in the spring or summer, whenever. It wasn't the spring, but it was sometime after they changed over the system. So I know they changed the system over last April. And I think it was sometime later, a few months later. And I thought, well, what do I want double rewards for? Like, really, what I had to and I didn't get into it, so I didn't really place an order. Myself, personally, I didn't even place an order whenever they had their first double rewards days. So now when I looked at it and I did the math, I thought, well, double rewards is kind of like the equivalent of free shipping, right? So it's not free shipping. So don't say it is. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it's like it, but not as good. It's good, but not as good. So what happens is with free rewards, if you order $100, your normal rewards that you get banked for your next purchase is $10. And then with double rewards, it's actually $20, right? So on $100, you're getting $20 of rewards. And the reason why I say it's not quite as good as free shipping is because free shipping is immediate. So on $100, you would just not pay the shipping, which is 11%, which is $11, right? And so you're getting $11 right off your order. Well, the free or the double rewards is 10% versus saving 11. So, you're getting 10% to spend in the future. Otherwise, with free shipping, you're getting 11% off immediately, right? So the other thing though is with the rewards, the double rewards is it starts with $20. So if you only spend $20, you get rewards and they're double rewards. Where with free shipping, you always needed $75. So it was really crazy because I had 3 of the girls on my team that came to me between sometime on Sunday night and Monday, and they're all like, hey, did you hear there might be free shipping? There might be free shipping. And I'm like, wait, what? They always tell us at least 3 days in advance when there's going to be a promotion like that. And so they were telling me that a different demonstrator was saying it. And I'm like, well, not that she was saying there was free shipping, but that she thought there might be free shipping. And so I was like, where did you hear that? So they pulled it up and we listened to it. I'm like, well, she didn't say it was free shipping. She just said, hold your orders. And that, though, was the best piece of advice because I had an order that was going to go in on Monday. And I did hold it till Wednesday, and then I got the 2 times the reward. So it did benefit me by hearing the quote unquote not true news. So because that still was good news that we got the double reward. So again, that goes through tomorrow, you guys. And so you have to wrap your head around it that it is a good deal. And it's just not immediate discount. It's a future discount that gets banked and then you can take it off your next order. So that works. So yes, double rewards put in my first order Anna said she got her first order again. Perfect. Okay. So, can't get the Pooh set. Oh, Nancy said, oh, sad face, she can't get the Pooh set. Yes, that is correct because you're in Canada. I always want to say Canada. I know it's not Canada, but I always you guys know how I put my own isms on words. So every time I say, and I see Nancy Mole, I want to say from Canada, but I know it's Canada. But yes, the Winnie the Pooh thing is a sad thing for people in Australia and Europe and Canada because it's only available in the United States. Sad face, yes. So I wonder how that could work, Nancy. So I'm thinking about how that could work because I will be seeing you, right? in Alaska, hopefully in 2027, right? And I don't know if it's against, I think I could buy the bundle for an extra bundle for myself and then bring it along to Alaska, right? So I don't think that's against the rules. And then all of a sudden it's is no longer available for purchase here in the States, and then I can sell it, right? Like you do after something retires. So yes. So I feel like if there's a will, there's a way that we can make that happen. So, all right. So are you guys ready to see some stuff? I think so. I have lots of things to talk about. I will drop the camera down. I'm going to drop it like it's hot, right? And show you some stuff. So I don't know. Where do we want to start? I think you guys probably want to start with the Stampin' Fun in the Sun. Okay, so let me preface before I show all this stuff. The Stampin' Fun in the Sun is not like the Palooza, and it's not like an Escape. The Stampin' Fun in the Sun is similar, but it is different. You get a goodie bag, and the goodie bag isn't all like a share. Like usually for the Escapes and the Palooza, it's a share of one piece of everything. Generally, that's consumable. For the Stampin' Fun in the Sun, your goodie bag is going to be 4 half packs of designer series paper, which is the equivalent of 2. You're going to get the equivalent of a roll of ribbon, but it's a sampling. It is a sampling of all of the in-color ribbons plus berry burr. So you get 6 1-yard sections of ribbon that are all pretty rolled up. And then you get 2 packs of gems. And I don't remember even what that adds up to, but it's a $50 goodie bag. And you will use your ribbons and your designer paper and your gems to finish off making the projects. And then there's a prize patrol, there's attendance gifts, there's cookies. Mom's making her, I don't know which cookies yet she's got planned. It's not for another month yet, so I don't think that's on her radar. But you'll get some cookies. There's these cute little treat boxes that we're going to decorate up. And then it also comes with access to a Facebook group or a Google Drive folder where you'll have access to pictures of all the projects. And also there's 4 creative presentations that some amazing demonstrators are going to do. And so you'll have access to that. So that's what the Stampin' Fun in the Sun is. And it is available to everybody. You could be a customer. You could be a demonstrator. You could be a discount shopper. You could be a hobbyist. You could be whatever you want. It's open to absolutely everybody. You could bring your mother, your daughter, your sister, your brother, your dad, whoever. Like it's like the more the merrier. Okay. I offer it in person over the course of 4 days. Each day is the same. I just get the same lunch every day, right? And I just get a different set of people every day. And so I offer it as 4 one-person days. So you can pick which day you want in person, or you could do the online version. And the online version means that you can watch the creative presentations every day to get inspiration from them. And then the following week, I will be doing the make and takes via a YouTube video, and you'll be able to have yours mailed. You'll have it by the time, well, I can't promise that, but it will be mailed the Monday or Tuesday after the event, and then I do the live the following week. So it usually gives you about 7 days for your boxes to arrive so that you're creating your projects with me while we're live, okay? And I don't share them with my entire community. Only those who register have access to those videos. So the 7 mini classes are an exploding box that looks like this, which I will open up momentarily. They are a bag of cards, and these are all the in-color cards in here. So it's an in-color card class. Then we have a gift card class. So all these cards feature different ways that you can get a gift card in them. And then we have a sampler, and it comes with 3 additional bonus cards that we weren't really going to do. But when you cut up the piece of paper, it left you with some extra pretty scenes that we couldn't let you do nothing with. We wanted to make sure you made them into pretty cards. So it's a sampler with 3 cards. And all the cards that you see will come with envelopes. And everything is kitted pretty much the same as a class that I do, where all the card kits will be in an envelope per piece. The only thing is when you do something like this, it's more like an ink, paper, scissors, where I will guide you through how to cut your designer paper, and your ribbon and your gems come in the packages. They won't be cut up and put into your card kits for you. So it is a little bit of work to do these projects, but I think that the reward is going to be a lot better or more than the work that goes into it, because we will have prepped a lot for you. As much as we possibly can prep, we will. So let's start with the sampler because it's right in front of me here. So this is that really cool water slides or relaxing water slide. I don't whatever. The water one. So we are doing a sampler. I don't think last year we did a sampler, but 2 years ago. So this is the 3rd annual. And this one is one that will fit into a 9x9 frame. I will order extra in case anybody needs a frame. I don't have it in my frame quite yet, but there's a brownish wood grain frame that I put it in. And so yeah, it's just turned out really good. So this is an event that's in May. So Father's Day is in June. So this would still be a great gift for a birthday or Father's Day. So birthday coming up or Father's Day. And we've got the only stamping on here that you need to do are a sentiment here, a sentiment that we stamped here, and then we stamped the bird and die cut it out. So other than that, you guys look at me, I'm seeing where I have dimensionals peeking out. I gotta just push them down in there. There it is. Okay, so you really can reproduce this without having the new suite this is part of a new suite. Okay, so with that, then you get 3 bonus cards because this paper comes from one sheet and there's pretty patterns on it. And so you'll get the materials, the card stock, and anything embossed is embossed. And another where you can get 3 extra cards out of the paper and you'll stamp 3 different sentiments on. And again, you could stamp whatever you want. It doesn't have to be the sentiments that we used. Do we just email, like, if you like a frame? So that's really a great question, Feline. So what I'm wishing I would have done now, which I will need to do, I need a way to track it, right? Because at this moment, for you guys to sign up for the stamp, so if anybody's on, like, thinking about signing up for this event, if you go to my resources tab, there's a spot right here that says, click here to register for the Stampin' Fun the Sun. Feline, what I'm going to, and anybody that wants to register that hasn't registered yet, I'm going to insert a question in here that says, do you want to purchase a frame from me? And I include it in your box, right? So I need to insert that in here because we didn't know that we were going to do a sampler until last week. So I'm going to insert that in here. So if anybody wants to get registered, just hold the phone. As soon as I'm done with class, I'll try to make it the first thing I do when I get off is to just insert a section in here that says, would you like a frame? Yes or no? And just know the frame is like a gray granite meets a crumb cake kind of. It's like a brownie gray color and it's got a wood grain texture. So I'm going to add that here. So what I need to do is I think there's 67 people that have already registered. I think that I need to just, Feline, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send an email out to those 67 people and I will put on there, who wants a frame, tell me, and I will insert your answer into the back end of the spreadsheet. So I think that's what we'll need to do. Don't send me an email at this moment because I am so behind on emails at this moment that you guys, it's not even funny. I know that some of you have been waiting for a little while for an email. I need to get into my computer and sit there for 5 hours to work on emails, and I don't have that 5 hours, and it's hard to pick away at them one by one because I get interrupted so easily. I need nobody here around me and peace and quiet while I work on emails for a little bit. The sampler reminds me of where we vacation in Michigan every year, and you bought it because of that. Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, so anybody that does want to get the frame and you haven't registered yet, just hold off on registering until later tonight or tomorrow morning, and I'll make sure I have that question in there. And then for anybody who has registered, I will reach out to you and ask you, and then I'll say, anybody who wants the frame, tell me, and if you don't tell me. So hi, Mitzi Stanley. Okay, so this is one of the mini classes, right? So that is an amazing one. And then one of them is an in color. So for those of you that are demonstrators that like to show off the new in colors, this is a great little class. If you're not a demonstrator and you do this and you are a customer and you want some amazing cards, this is a great class too. It gets you familiar with the new in colors, which are Peaceful Pine, Hydrangea Hue, Crisp Cantaloupe, Golden Glow, and Barely Blush. Okay, so I know them now. About 2 weeks ago, I couldn't remember one of them, but these are really cool. So you get the Boutique Bloom paper, and what happens is we use the Designer Series paper as the main part of the card, and then we added a secondary piece on the front that coordinates. And then we used the Boutique Blossoms, little flower with the leaves, and again, all you need are sentiments and whatever you want for focal images on the inside. So, and these are really pretty. If you guys haven't seen the butterflies yet, these in color butterflies are exquisite. I have to say, they're probably my favorite gem that is new, that just came out. I love them. And they're in all the 5 in colors. And there's your last one with the Barely Blush. Okay, so that's the in color. Now what happens is you get 6 sheets of designer paper. So 5 of them get used on the cards, and it meant there was 1 sheet left. And so we turned it into the bag. And I know we've done a bag before for the Stampin' Fun the Sun, but it's just a great little bag to gift to somebody or keep for yourself. Okay, so then we did a mini class that is featuring, hi Kimberly, and this little guy just does not want to stay down for me. It's been really muggy and damp and raining here galore, so the adhesive that I put on here just doesn't want to stick so well. So our mini class here it's 4 cards, and they all feature a different type of a fold, and they're gift card holders. So this one is have a great birthday, but you don't need to have anything but sentiments. And this one opens like that, and then you put a little gift card in there, right? So that's how that works. So that's a little gift card, and this fits right behind the label, right? So that fits like that. So with this one, the die cutting will be done, and we've already got the paper scored. It's pretty crazy. We're working really far ahead, and we'll have like that piece cut, but you'll cut the designer paper. And again, I'll have a guide and the instructions for you on how to cut it. And these are pieces of the designer series paper. So these are not stamps that you need. So that's pretty cool. So this is another one that is a gift card holder. And so what happens is this flips up. There's our recipe card. And then this goes that way, and that goes this way. And then we've got a little tuck-in pocket here. And this is where you would put your gift card in, right in the front here, like that. So there's that. You will need a sort of a circle punch, or you can always just wedge out with a scissors and make a V there. So that's our number 2 here. And then let's see here. How about this one? So this one features the Splish Splash. I was taking a bath. No, I don't know. Relax and splash. Oh, man. Dominoes here. So, hang on. I have a little bit of an avalanche of cards that just fell down. So let me pick them up and put them over here. Okay. Oh, there goes that. Okay. So Splish Splash. So you just need a sentiment. You guys, my die cutters are already working on all the little things here. So all that will be die cut. And then this opens up, and this is a birthday present on the inside. Now, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to have to remake the bow at this moment, or I'll do it. So you untie it, and then this lifts up, and then what happens is your gift card tucks right into here. So I know that sometimes it's hard to visualize that. So let's just show you here. So that goes in like that. Oh, man. Man. I didn't practice it with it. I think Kelly used a gift card. I think Kelly she didn't use this. Oh, you know why? That's going to be too tall. So I feel like she didn't use a gift card. She used a bill, and she folded it up is how I think that she had it. So like she had a bill like this, right? And she folded it, and then that was tucked right like that, and then that's shut. So it doesn't fit a gift card like that per se, but it does. It's big enough for you to fit something in there. So that's a good spot. No, it's not. Let's put that back over here. So wishing happiness floats your way. So, all right. So that one's that. And, oh, man, I will leave that just like that. All right. And then the last one I think is, like, they're all great. I love them all, but I think I like this one a lot. So it says, so very happy for you. And when you get it open, it says, congratulations. And then there's a present, or a gift bag in the inside. So our goal is that we're going to have this piece scored for you already, so that you don't have to worry about scoring that, right? So super cool. The cardstock will be cut, so you'll just have to cut your designer paper that goes on your present and on the outside. So, and all that die cutting will be done. So on this one, all you need, again, is just a sentiment. And we have some textury background stamps going on. Okay. So that's that one. Pretty cool, right? So we have 4 cards that make up the gift card, or like, it's not gift card for that one, but it's a money card holder. Okay, so that's one mini class. Now the last one is our exploding box. Okay. I'm getting a spammer calling me from my IRS. Be right back. Okay, Hope it goes well. And the exploding box. Okay, so then this is what the sides look like, right? It's the new Velvet Meadow, right? That's what that looks like. And then homemade for you, and you open it up and it flaps down. And then what happens is these little guys are little flippy flappies. You could add small pictures to this. You could add some more. This is how it comes, right? So we have any labels that we have shown in the pictures we'll have ready for you. But if you want to add anything else, you could always insert your own pictures or extra die cut labels. But we got some flippy flappies and then some baby cards in here. So it says you are loved. And so you could write little love notes to whoever you're giving this to. And then we have another baby card. Whoa, flippy floppy over here. Wishing you good things, right? And then we have one more box that also explodes. And in here, I have a little gift. So then that's more paper. I think this is what I got to figure this out yet. But hang on. I was trying to figure out what the best, cutest little adorbsy thing would be to go inside this little inside thing. And I'm contemplating these things. This is Bee Balm. And it's got a little honey thing here, or like a little wand. And they have different flavors. So and it comes in a little box, and I thought that that would be a cute little thing that fits in there, that would fit in there perfectly. So I'm contemplating getting one of these for everybody to put in there. I just haven't figured all that out yet. So there might, and then somebody else said, well, what about a bath bomb or like a bath salt, like little circular thing would fit in there. So yeah, so then that fits right on there. That flips back up. So now, Mother's Day will have passed by a week, unfortunately, because this whole event is May 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, and Mother's Day will have passed, but this would still make a great gift for the woman in your life, I feel like, because it's very feminine, it's very pretty. Your mom, your sister, your aunt, your sister-in-law, your mother-in-law, you know, whoever, cousins, whatever, right? Or just keep it for yourself and stare at it. So, but yeah, so that's the exploding box. So that's what we have. So it's 4 mini classes all in one. Again, that's the Stampin' Fun the Sun. The reason that I started with this one is because we have 67 people signed up. We've had 144 people attend each one over the last 2 years. They were each 144 people. Both started off at 124, and we added 20 spots. So we have 67 registered right now. What I'm trying to understand is, do we go with 124 or should we just go with 144 right off the bat, right? Like, I'm trying to figure that out. So if anybody was on the fence and wanted to see the projects, and now you're you're over 75% certain you want to do the event, just get registered and then just wait until after I've added the spot about if you want a frame or not. So, yay. All right. Got that one done. Hello, Sherry Stewart. So, we also got Let's Just Stamp Finish for next month, which features Nature Symphony. So these are what we've got for Let's Just Stamp. And that's some of that textured paper, which is kind of cool. And so we've got one with the peacock and the Secret Sea. We say peacock. I don't know, it was a Amanda Walhart thing. So every time I say it, I got to say it like that. So, and then we've got one with the Mossy Meadow. And yeah, so that is Let's Just Stamp for next month. So we got that one already rocking and rolling. And then we also have the ink, paper, scissors done for next month. So that's pretty cool. We are working as fast and ahead as we possibly can. This one is featuring Sunset Coast or Scenic Coast. So we've got these guys. And we've got that one. So you've got all your pretty sunsets and sunrises. Sunrise, sunset. And this one is really cool. I made it so that there's a little beach area on the bottom. It makes it look like a little beach. And there it is. Okay, so there's that guy. Our Purplelicious. And then I've got, you guys, if you did ink, paper, scissors last year with me, that was Everyday Arches, you might recognize this layout. So we did another one like it because it was so fun and so pretty. So you have your sunrise and then you have your sunset all in one card. And you brighten my day. Wherever this note finds you, I hope it finds you happy. It's perfect for that. And then last is our little lighthouse card. So, yeah. So we got ink, paper, scissors all buttoned up. Hello, that's Carol from Australia. Very nice. I have ink, paper, scissors here for you. So we got that. So Kelly's going to start photographing these, and we're going to get the cover photos and the events created. And then I also wanted to share with you the Winnie the Pooh. So this box contains 15 cards, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all 15 cards. I kept telling Kelly, more, we want more, we want more. This is a Stamp-a-Stack. So it's pretty cool. And she did that. Diane and I have a Stamp-a-Stack coming up in maybe in a couple weeks that features the homemade sweetness, which we still have about 15 spots left for. So I'll show those off momentarily too. But we like to do about 15 cards for a Stamp-a-Stack because it feels good to do that many cards for a Stamp-a-Stack. And because you want to stamp a stack of cards. So I have the homemade sweetness ones here. They're the ones that kind of fell on the floor. So I got everything situated now. So we've got that. Diane and I have that one. So if you're in person, it's with Diane. And then for me is online. I think on May 1st. Kelly's Winnie the Pooh Stamp-a-Stack is set. It's going to be May 28th. And she's doing an online YouTube class for it. And if you want, Winnie the Pooh is going to help Kelly get to Costa Rica. That is her plan. So she's got a Winnie the Pooh Stamp-a-Stack in May. We've got her set up with an order-based class in June and a Winnie the Pooh sampler in July. Okay, so she's going to ride the Winnie the Pooh train all the way to Costa Rica. And so when we were working on these, what we did is we laid out all the paper and we just started going to town. So what's super unique about this one is that all the 15 cards are unique. There's not a duplicate. Whereas when we do other Stamp-a-Stacks, like for the homemade sweetness, like for this one, you'd make 3 of this one, 3 of this one, and then 3, and then 3, and then the last card is 3, right? What makes for 15 cards. Well, with Winnie the Pooh, all 15 cards are unique. Just like Winnie the Pooh. He's a unique cat. Actually, bear. Ha, ha, ha. So I'll flip them this way and go like one at a time, just so you guys can see how fun these cards are. So we designed them so that all you need are sentiments, right? You're going to really use the designer series paper. Oh, she's got a goo ball right there. I can see it right there. Okay. So she's got the piglet on the inside. So thinking of you today. So there's our little piglet. And then we've got that guy. It never hurts to keep looking up. Now, we definitely used the sentiments from the Sweet Silly Sayings or whatever, the Sweet Old Sayings. And so they got utilized as well as maybe about 3 other sets with sentiments. And then, yay, you did it. He's super excited. And she's got all the insides super cute. Like, congratulations on your achievement. Super cool. And Pauline can't wait for it. Look at this guy. Just a note. And then for this one, it's a Stamp-a-Stack. And what it means is you're going to stamp 15, you're going to make 15 cards. And it's a product-based class. So everybody who registers with Kelly for non-team pricing, you'll get the pack of designer paper, you'll get the opal gems, these opal pearls, and then a roll of the ribbon. You deserve a treat, right? Isn't that cute? He's going up to get his treat. And then if you're on the team, you have the option of getting team pricing, which means you would provide your own designer paper, gems, and ribbon, and then you would get the paper pack from Kelly. And the paper pack includes all the card bases, the mats, everything that is embossed, any dies that are provided, like Kelly and her mom are working on die cutting already. So like we would give you that. So again, we've designed all these in a way that all you need are sentiments. So if you're not in love with buying the sentiments, but you still want to do the class, you could definitely recreate these cards to look just like this without having the stamps. And then we also designed them in a way that only half the pack of design in your paper got utilized, not even half of it. So you have half of it left over to make another set of these cards using your own card stock. But look at that, it's so cute. Oh, I love it. He's such a silly old bear. Okay. Look at all that ribbon. I know, right? Kelly goes to town on the ribbon. So that one was really cute. They're having their supper. Happy birthday. I got to see. To a marvelous person on their birthday. Look at that. They're all having the birthday dinner together. All right. And then this guy, I think this one's my favorite. There's just something about here with the leaves and him sitting outside, Pooh sitting outside the door. I truly appreciate all you do. So pretty. You guys, we had fun with this. It took us all of Sunday afternoon. Like, noon until 6, and then I know we worked on them on Tuesday for about 3 more hours or 4 more hours, something like that. I don't know. Took us a little while. Isn't that great? Okay. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with this. So definitely a team effort between the two of us. We mapped them all out together and got all the layouts planned and got them together. So we decided to double mat them so that the inside, look at that one, isn't that cute? So we have it so that the mat on the inside matches. So we don't generally double mat Stamp-A-Stacks, but this one and the last one, we double matted them because they look so much better when you have the double mat on the inside. But isn't that cute? He's knocking on the door to say thank you. So, and then the last one that we have is our favorite. So I told Kelly, I said, Kelly, you have all these little guys on the page that are just all of the characters. I said, we need one card that has all of the characters that are coming together to hang out for a sociable. And so this was the last one. This was your bonus card that was not really on the radar till the very end because she had cut out all of the characters, and then this is what we came up with. So we kind of looked at a card on the website and came up with it. They were all congregating around this pot of honey. So it's super cute, right? And don't you love how she got the ribbon like that? That was Kelly. That was her. That was all Kelly, was her little lamb technique up there. So super cute. So that's the last one. So all 15 cards. So yeah, like totally awesome. Totally awesome. These are all done, ready to go. So I have to say that about 50 or 45 people pre-registered for this Winnie the Pooh class before even seeing these cards. So I'm curious to see how many now register officially. I mean, I'm thinking everybody who pre-registered is definitely going to keep their registration intact, and that there are going to be even more people that register after they see the cards. So yeah, fun. It was fun. It was a lot of fun to work with the Winnie the Pooh set. Not a challenge at all. So, oh, thanks, Lynn. Yeah, definitely, like, it was just fun. Like, sometimes designing is a lot of a challenge when you don't know what to do with something. And then that one was not a challenge. So, all right, I do want to share with you guys, last week we had Create and Play. And I need to say, I had a couple people reach out to me about that night. People's phones were delayed and comments weren't coming in, and it all worked out. You guys, there was no problem whatsoever. I didn't realize that that was happening, so I feel bad because I said to a few people, oh, let me know, let me know, let me know. And they were trying, and so it is what it is, you guys. Like, I am not worried. We got through it. It was great. Game night went wonderful, and it just, there was a little bit of a delay, and it didn't help that I talked for so much on the front end, and then it got crunch time at the end. Normally we would do one game, rest, do a game, rest, and maybe only do 2 games back to back at the end. And so it's all good. You guys, like, some people reached out to me afterwards and it was all fine. I got to tell them that it was no big deal. It's all good. We made it do. So I did want to share, because during the live, I did say that I got inspiration for cards from certain things. And I just wanted to share, I like to share where ideas come from. And so when we look at the cards that we made for the Create and Play last week, those were the cards. You guys, I don't have any left. I have none left. They're gone, all gone. So the tutorial's out there now. But this was a card that I got, and I believe this came from, oh, Sue Deppis. Okay, thank you for all you do. So yay. So Sue Deppis sent me this card, right? And that is the card that I cased. It was sitting there. I pulled it aside. And so that was the card that I used to do this one. So you can see that the layout looks the same, and all I did was switch out all the products. So thank you to Sue Deppis for that amazing inspiration. And then this next card, I thought it was Yvette Lopez's, and I don't know if it says, it doesn't say here anymore. So Yvette, I think at some point, if you're watching, I believe that this was your card. And it was a thank you card that you had given me during Raleigh, the Raleigh trip, I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was yours. And so you can see here, I cased this card to do that card. And it looks great, right? So it was really cool, a way to showcase when the designer paper front and back really match. Oh, Amy's going to sign up. Wonderful. We appreciate that. So that was that card that got cased. Now this one right here was from my upline. And I had gotten a new team member in September, and so she sent me a card. And so this was the card that I cased, and this is the card that we came up with. So similar, right? But different, using all new products. So that's why it's great to get handmade cards from people, to participate in swaps. It just helps to give you ideas when you're not feeling so creative, and it helps it to get your creative juices flowing faster. Now this one was from Kathy Kessler. I was like, it said Kaiser, but it's not Kaiser. I think it's Kessler. And that one is a gatefold like this. And that's where I came up with that one, right? So that's where that idea came from. Excuse me. And then last but not least, I saw this card. And I thought, oh, that'll work. And I don't have a name on it, so I don't know exactly who to give credit to. But that was the card that I used to reproduce that card. So yay, all right, it's just to share. And I meant to bring these down last week. I couldn't find them. They're sitting upstairs, and now I found them, and that's just to show you a little bit about that. Hi, Joy Moody. So yeah, I made 60 for this create and play, and only one person signed up for in person, and that was Jill. And she ended up, I asked her if she'd come early on Monday to stamp her cards, and she ended up stamping her cards and then taking them home with her, and then we didn't have game night. So I had last night to kind of make up, like I could work on other things. So, all right, one other thing I just want to share too before we get going on the cards that we're going to be making tonight is the card making benefit. Yvette, I gave you the same card style, but for mine, I used the Delightful Wishes DSP. Okay, so then somebody else must have gotten that card, cased it, and sent me that one, because I could have sworn I saw that from you too. I remember it. Okay, so the card benefit is coming up on the 25th. So it's not this weekend, but next weekend, you guys. We need people to sign up for the card benefit. There are about 90 sets of this available yet. So 90 times $40 or times 45 if it's a made card is what we're looking for yet to have people sign up so we can fulfill all the cards being Finding Happy Homes and having the best donation that we can make to there's 3 different organizations. It's to the Autism Society, the MS Society, and then Healing for the Ages. And you could pick whichever organization you want your donation to go to. You could pick all 3, you could pick 1, or you could pick 2 of them. And the cards that we have here are the Paradise Garden cards. And so we have lots left. Oh, that was your card that we cased. Oh, good, Susan. We cased your card. Yay. So again, this is coming up a week and a half. You could attend in person, or you could get your kits mailed to you in May. Or if you're not getting anything else, I could mail them to you separately too. So we've got those 2, this one, and then a ladybug card. Delicate framing. This one is Garden Party Shaded Spruce White. Okay, so that must go with this guy right here. Okay, so that goes with that one. But this is what we got for the card benefit. So we went with 192 because we had 192 that did the event with us in October or November, whenever it was last year. So we thought, oh, well, the majority will get the cards again, right? So we over forecasted you guys by a ton. So I'm really hoping that we'll have 50 people that sign up in the next week, right? That is my ultimate goal. So if you haven't got, or if you'd like a second set of them, let me know too. I can set them on the back counter for you. We have at least 15 of the made sets still available, and we have maybe about 80 or 75 of the kits left. So plenty of both, right? So if you would like to get them by making a donation, please reach out and let me know. There is a registration form. This is on the 25th of April. So if you go to my events calendar on April 25th, and if you look for that day on my events calendar, there's a spot there for you to do the registration form. And we need you to do the registration form because it'll help us figure out, do you want made cards or kitted cards, and which organization do you want to have your proceeds go to. I'm going to be doing a YouTube live for this class on the 28th, and you can see that I've already got the link here and it's ready to go. And so you guys can watch that. And then to get registered, there's a spot down here for registering. I should make it a little less bold so it's easier to see, but this is where we'd want you to register for the April card benefit because it tells us your name, address, information, and how you want your kits, right? So that is still available with oodles McOodles of them needing happy homes, okay? So, all right, that's that one. And then we are sold out of delicate. So we had an order-based class called Delicate Whispers. We have none left, which is great. We sold out of the ink, paper, scissors called Beach Boardwalk, but we are kitting more because we have a wait list. So I think we're down to just a couple left of this one now. So Beach Boardwalk is the ink, paper, scissors this month, and these were the cards. And we had made 72 of them, and we are making 8 more. And I think 3 or 4 of the extra 8 are gone. So I think there's like just there's like less than a handful left. There's 2 or 3. So if anybody still would like to get in on this ink, paper, scissors, once we are done with those 8, we're done. And again, the Delicate Whispers, we didn't make more of. And so we're done with Delicate Whispers. And then the Technique Club class, we're also out of that. I do have about 12 left of the In Color Retirement class, which features the pretty colors that look like this. And so everything's ready to go where all you have to do is stamp and color your flower and put a sentiment on, and then you stamp and color your leaves too. So that's the In Color Retirement class. So there's some of that one available as well. More than some, like over a dozen. And that leads us to, oh, I didn't even bring Let's Just Stamp over. Ooh, I don't know. Let's Just Stamp is over there. We have at least 10 left of Let's Just Stamp, and there's plenty left of the April monthly. But so we're about half and half. Half are not half, but 3 or 4 of the classes have sold out already, and the other ones. But there were 12 kitted things for this month, so there was just a lot. So there is a post for it. We can share it on our pages. So is there a post for it? Let's look really quick, Feline. I created the event, and you could always share the event. And let's just see if you go to, let's just see here. This, and then switching to my business. And if we go here, Feline, what I'll do, I will create a post. That's what I will do. I'll create a post, because if there is one now, it's probably buried somewhere way, because I just created all this other stuff. I didn't even see this. Kelly made this. Isn't that cute? Oh, it's adorable. Okay, so if there is one, Feline, it's way buried in here. So I'll create a new one, and I'll post it, and I'll share it to the VIP group. And I'm thinking that you generally see my stuff, so you would probably see that when I do that. But that's a good point. I will post about it, and then you can share it. That would be awesome. I gave you the same card. Okay, and then Feline, is there a post? And then Sue says, oh, how nice. I did case your card, Sue. You betcha. All right. So we have class tonight, and we have these 3 cards that we're going to be making, and they're all a lot of fun to do. I did this class on Monday with about, 15 people, and everybody loved them. They really liked the flower card. I think was a lot of people's favorites. So what I featured for these, this is Sunshine and Tulips. So Sunshine and Tulips is this one right here. So there's this die in here. It's upside down, but there's this die, and that's what we use to die cut the flowers. And oh, we got to do roll call. We'll do roll call in a minute. So this was the stamp set, and I did use these stamps for this card. So if friends were flowers, I'd pick you, and then we put thanks for your thoughtfulness on the inside. So that's what we used on that one. Then this one right here is called Friendly Foliage. Now with Friendly Foliage, I really tried to use that die right there because I thought that it looks super cool. But I made the executive decision to not use that die because I didn't know how many people would actually have that stamp from this Friendly Foliage. And I thought it was very limiting to people, and it really forces people to have to maybe buy that set to complete the card. And I always hate having you guys having to feel like you have to buy a stamp set. It's always buy what you love and use what you have with me when we do cards. So definitely went a different route and decided to use all these small leaves to make a little collage of leaves on the side here. And like left that for the wayside and thought to myself, well, I'll just use that at some point in the future. You can see here, I've not used mine yet, but there's a lot of other words in here that are awesome. So at some point, I'll make a card that uses that. But for tonight, you don't have to worry about having it. You just need to have some sort of a sentiment, and we put some background foliage, not foliage, background texture behind the thinking of you. But that came from Friendly Foliage. Then this one, it comes from the Peaceful Dock. And so this is another one where we originally were like, how can we make this boat work on the card? And we thought, you know, who's going to buy the stamp set specifically, right? You got to love the set to buy the set, I think, right? You gotta love it. You want to love it if you're going to buy it. Because most of us at this point have so many stamps that we don't know what to do with. So you got to really love a set to buy it. And if you don't, then it's like you're kind of stuck if we make a card using this specific stamp. So we went outside the box and we made it look like you're in water, and we made it look like you're going to go out for a paddle ride, but we just avoided the boat altogether. So another one where at some point it's a great boat, but you want to have the stamps and then the dies go with it. And I have the dies here so you can see we used the lily pads from here, the paddle got used, the pylon, and then the rope around it. So that's what we featured for that one. And then we pulled in some other sentiments from different sets. Like the congratulations came from Reason to Celebrate. And then we have Exploring Nature is where the It's a Great Big World Out There. Okay, that's where that came from. I love this set because it has Hello Sunshine in it. And I believe this one's on Last Chance. So that's what got used. We also utilized Paradise Garden. No, we didn't. Maybe not. No, these are from last week. This is what I used for Create and Play. So I don't think any of that. So that's what I was extra on that. Right, so these were from Create and Play last week. I don't have them put away yet, apparently. So let me do roll call with you guys. I have my computer here. I don't have everything documented in my book, unfortunately. So let me read it off of my computer. Do that. I'm just waiting for it to pop up here. So I'll do roll call. And by default, if your name is Sandy Coy Emery, you are the door prize winner for tonight's class because you, Sandy, are the only one who placed an order to get this class for free tonight. So I don't even have to do a drawing later. All right, first on our list is Tundra Hudson, and then we have Sandy Coy Emery, Angelique Schaefer, Bridget Rowe, Kathy Crumpton, Donna Grushke, Doris Munson, Julie Bontranger, Karen Woods, Kelly Gibson, Lynn Beasley, Margene Eskelson, Feline Mays, Phyllis Oderman, Sherry Everett, Shirley Natali, and then we have Susan Bellamy and Vicky Rodriguez, and last but not least is Tracy Gruby. So very good. Small group, you guys. That's 20 people. And that means that we have, I believe, I had 15 and 20 is 35. There are about 25 sets of this class left because we usually do 60 every month. Last month we sold out with 60. So don't ask me why we have so many left this month and then we ran out last month, but we usually do 60. So if anybody, but I guess what I'm trying to get at with that, a bunch of you are here, yay. What I'm trying to get at is if you would like to still get this class, I still have lots available. And Sherry said, need to text after you sent weird message. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Sherry Stewart, we got to figure out your package. Oh no. You have a game night in your package too, and I don't have any left of them. Let's, fingers crossed, hope that everything turns out successfully with your package. I always have sad face when we have hiccups with shipping. I say a little prayer when everything is at the UPS or the post office. Like, please make it to your home, your new home. All right, so for this class, we have 3 cards. The name is April Monthly Class, and today's date, hey, it's my brother's birthday today, April 16th. And I see my name on one of these envelopes, so I'm not quite sure why I have something, but I do. And if you're looking for the tutorial, you guys, I emailed it out yesterday morning. So you should have it in your inbox. It's also out in the Inspiration Hive. For those people who have access to the Inspiration Hive, it's also available for purchase if anybody wants to get it that way. So we're going to start with, we'll start with this white tulip one. How about that? So let's go tulip. So a bunch of you guys are here, yay. And for some reason, I'm thirsty. Oh, my mom made me split pea soup, and the ham in there I think is very salty. And it's like, huh, I need to drink more water. I can tell that I'm thirsty, very thirsty. Okay, I just grabbed the wrong one too. Isn't that funny? I don't want the vanilla one. I want this one. All right, so it's the other white one. It said the packaged, empty package, discarded. What? So you have two, I think you had two classes in there. You have ink, paper, scissors, and don't you have the sweet ink, paper, scissors, and game night? And so you're saying that they gave you an empty package? Is that how I'm reading that? So it was not empty when it left here, I will tell you that much. All right, so we've got our Blackberry Bliss card base. It's a vertical card, so we can keep that like that. And on this one, you're going to have a piece of Berry Burst that is slightly smaller than this white piece, right? So that you've got some wiggle room to adhere that, right? So then it makes all of your little flowers look like they're Berry Burst behind there. You're going to have 3 of these little dudes, right? And they're going to go randomly. We got one here, here, and here. These labels come from this set as well. And then this is the same foil that we worked with last week. That is it's not super shiny, and it comes in the Berry Burst, the blueberry, and also the shaded spruce. So for this, though, you're going to need to cut this in half. And part of it goes on the top and part goes on the bottom. And then also for your ribbon, so close, it was at our local facility. So, all right. I know, not empty, thinking damage at the hair. Okay, so then this guy is going to get cut in half diagonally. So, Sherry, you'll just have to let me know when you know for certain what's going on with the package, and we'll figure it out. So that is the ribbon just got cut in half. And then you're going to need some blackberry ink, and we'll go ahead and stamp If Friends Were Flowers. You guys, I don't know if you caught it, but there's just 2 lonely little gems here. There aren't 3. Normally we do odds. But for this one, I didn't know where to put a 3rd gem, and I really liked the 2 gems on the top and the bottom here. So I did only give you 2 gems. I know that's against all the rules of all the florists around the whole world. You know, I know we're supposed to do odd numbers, but I just couldn't do an odd one. I didn't know where to put it. Everything's so equal or like evened out. All right, so I do have this stamped, centered, and then top to bottom evenly. It's the best you can do. In the Blackberry Bliss. Okay. Then we also have the inside, which I've got thanks for your thoughtfulness. And that will go across the top like that. Oh, good job. It's really straight. I like it. Okay, then we have the apples that are Granny. And we're going to stamp the leaf first, which is this guy. All these stamps come from that set. So I'm going to put that down. It's got something on it. Let's get you off of there. Some sort of a goo ball. I could see it through the photopolymer there. All right, let's try that again. Okay, so we've got our little leafy down there. And then for the blackberry, there's a little flower. And that nestles in here. And then for this thing, the center of the flower, you're going to ink up and ink off. So stamp on and stamp off, and then that fits right over the top of it so that a little bit of the lightness comes through. Right, so by stamping it over the whole thing, you got that second strength in those little lines then too. All right, so that's it for that. And so I think we're done with the blackberry. And then we have a little bit of inky dinky to do over here. So when you flip that back over, you're going to have some leaves to color. And the easiest way we found to do this is by taking a piece of copy paper, and you're going to slip that underneath your leaves, and you're going to use a sponge dauber. And you guys, the sponge daubers came back into stock, so you can get them now. They had been out for a little while. But what we're doing is protecting the rest of the paper so that you don't get ink where you don't want it. Okay, so there's that. Then we also need to do this side. So let's flip the paper underneath here. Oh, one more. There it is. Okay, we'll do the same thing. Now, if you want to take a marker to color instead, you could also do that. You could probably take a Q-tip if you want to do that, but we're just using a dauber. All right, we got those leaves done. We do have one here to do, and then one down here. You don't have to do those two middle ones because they actually get covered up. So it doesn't make sense to waste your time or ink on something that's going to get covered up. All right, so there's that. And now you got to get underneath here too. Perfect. And get these guys good. Okay, and then just 4 more on this side. I'm not really caring that I'm going so close to the middle area, right? If you do, you're just going to get yourself in trouble by going too high or too low. All right, and just one more down there. Perfect. Okay, I think I got them all. So that's it for the granny apple. And that. So I did pop, so I glued this directly onto the back so there wasn't a gap, and then I popped this up with dimensionals. So what I would do is grab your liquid glue, and we can go ahead and glue the inside. Now you want to be careful on this. I'm only going to put glue wherever you don't see little baby holes, because the glue kind of does ooze between the holes. So you just don't want to put it too thick in between those holes. All right, and then this piece goes right over the top. Once you get it down, I wouldn't be smearing it all over in case your glue gets too close to the edge. And then this is our card base, and that's where the white inside can go in. Okay, and then for this one, you can see that's what we got going on. You could grab, I feel like just cutting the edges off of this. Let's use that right here. And we could put that one right there. And it's got such a big area, so perfect. I hear a bigger Tigger. Bigger Tigger. Big boy, where are you? I heard him sigh like he had such a hard day of sleeping. All right, so there's that all popped up. You have to be careful because once you start to go flat with this, so get it an idea of how your border is, right? So you can see it's about 1/8 of an inch. So what I'll do is I'll get that corner lined up. I'll drop that side down. I'll drop that side down. And then as long as I got those sides all straight, it should mean I've got the whole card straight, I hope, right? So that looks good. And then for this the foil is a little slippery yet, so I would go for some tear and tape. And put some tear and tape right there. And Bigger Tigger, you're being summoned, buddy. Your presence is being requested, handsome kitten. All right, let's see him on a chair. All right, so we got the tear and tape here. So then you can do is drop this white label over the top, and your sides should be flush, right, like that. And then do the same on that one. All right. Try to get them even. If they're not, you can still maybe pull it apart. And then you've got tear and tape up and down the sides. And then you need 2 of them waiting in the wings. And then that's where your ribbon is going to attach to. So I've got one side does seem shinier to me than the other. So figure out which is which. And then you're going to catch that tear and tape, make a little loop, and then bring your tail out. And then you have that tear and tape waiting, and figure out which way you want it to. I'm going to go that way. Okay, and then do the same thing on the other side. This time I'm going to do the loop at the bottom. And then like that. Sherry says she's sad this bundle didn't stick around long. No, not at all. There's a few of them. And that's what they do though with the oh, they always did that with the mini catalogs, that the product came out in January and then it was done by May. So let's see here. That looks good. And then what we're going to do is pop these up. Pop this label up right in the middle. All right, and again, that covers up those 2 flowers that didn't have their leaves decorated. Okay, the other thing, I popped that up and that one so that they were hanging out over the label. I didn't do it on the top ones, but I did it on the bottom ones. So it kind of gives it that cool overflowing look. And then these little things. Oh man, I should have done the Rose Coleman thing right off the bat. Prep them with some glue. The boat, the sailing, all on Last Chance. Yes, so much on Last Chance. I agree. So Rose Coleman does this. She preps the back of them with liquid glue. Doesn't put them on right away. She lets them marinate for a second. And that gets the glue tacky. Oh, man. It gets the glue tacky and so it's not smeary. All right, so we're going to set you right there. And we'll do that with this guy as well. No, there's a front and a back to these dies. One side is a little smoother and the other side is a little rougher. So I always put the rough side down if I can make that happen. And there's that. And then we'll do this last one. Yeah, a lot of what I'm doing tonight, what I'm using, is on Last Chance. You're right. A last hoorah-rah for it. All right, that should be enough glue. So, scalpel. Of course it landed the wrong way. All right, I got a sticky mess going on here. So I bet you guys will too. Well, let's just go for it. So this one goes over here. They fit right in the open space. And then this one fits there. And last one, we put it in the middle over here. Perfect. It just adds a little extra to the card having those are part of the die cuts that came in it. All right, then we've got your 2 little gemsies. These gems are from the Regal Winter Suite. I don't remember what they're called. We got them on the PDF tutorial. I know we named them, but there was a Regal Winter Suite. Not this last holiday mini catalog, but the one before it. And I had oodles of these pink ones, and they fit on this card perfectly. So that's what we ended up with. All right, and what would you Stella if you could? Well, you could Stella inside your flowers here, inside the area. I would avoid the granny apple blended with your sponge dauber pieces because that will just make them bleed a little bit. But all these little pink flowers you could definitely get in here. Yes, you could definitely use a silicone mat. Oh yeah, she would, you know, Rose would have had her silicone mat out here. She is an avid user of the silicone mat. But that works for me. I'm good with that. Okay, we got one done. Yay. My water bottle is empty. Oh my goodness. Okay. Tigger, buddy, I need you to get me some water. Mom, I can't do that. I don't know how. I know, buddy. I'm just teasing. All right. So that was the first one. Susan Temple, just tuning in. Was that your granddaughter Shrek meet? I'll have to watch. Sounds good. We got 2 more cards to do, and we have lots of chit-chat. Lots of chitty-chat. Okay, next card we're going to do is the Vanilla envelope. So you could grab that. That's the one that I had originally pulled. Okay, let's pull this out of here. You guys have a little homework on this one, only because we missed cutting it at the correct size. Now, it's not too small, it's actually too big. So if we were going to do anything wrong out of all the cards, out of the 4,300 cards, so far this is the only thing we found that we've done wrong. We just cut this too big, and it should be 3 13/16 by 5 1/16, right? So we just got to have you take off 3/16 off of 2 sides. So 3 13/16, and then this thing doesn't go out so far, so I'm just going to estimate that it's right there. Right, so that's it. We just missed that. We thought it was supposed to be a 5 1/4 by 4. The piece was there, just a little bit too big. But if that's the worst thing we did, I'm all right with that. Inside here, you guys are going to have a little leaf that is old olive, and it might have little bits and parts in the inside. So you have one like that, and then you have one like this. And you might have to pop your insides out. So you got those 2 leaves. And then we've got some earthen foil leaves. Right, so you got 2 of those. And then you have a little flower. You'll have this vellum heartfelt hexagon. You'll have a vanilla strip for your sentiment. You'll have these 2 pieces. And I promise you, there's a reason why we did them like this. We had, the sizing was specific. Like, we only had a certain number of sheets. And by cutting them this way, it allowed us to use this designer paper only and not have to pull in one that was similar. So they all could do that. You have a little vellum, and it's really hard to see it, but it is a little texture on the back right here. And then you have this piece, which is where the designer paper goes on. And so one piece is going to go down here, and the other piece is going to go here. Now, if you look at it like that, that works. This doesn't work, right? So it's not a square. If it was a square, it would be the same margin, but you don't want it to go down like this because you'll have too much crumb cake on the sides. You actually want to make sure you look at it like, and you get that little bit of smaller margin. All right, so I make you guys have to figure that out. Sorry about that. What is the pink jar by your ink pad? Ha! Joy Moody, that was what I showed off earlier. It was the bee balm that we were talking about putting in the exploding box. That is for the Stampin' Fun in the Sun. It's lip balm. All right, so now that I cut this down to size, it should fit on your old olive. Now, if you don't cut enough off, like I might have not cut enough off of the bottom, you can always go back and trim a little bit more. And I think it needs just a little bit more. All right. So that looks good to me. So then you have your vanilla inside and a little bow that I made for you. Made all your little bows. You betcha, Joy. So I made all your little bows. You might have to finagle it a little bit. And you're also going to have to burnish your card base there. All right, what can we get glue happy with? So we have, all right, let's start with this guy. This is the Easter paper, actually, if you didn't notice. And what you can do is, let's glue that and get these pieces connected. And then we can also glue, I've done a dry fit, so we could glue our old olive mat down. So I do know that this little skinny strip goes along the bottom, and you want to have the same margin on the left, the right, and the bottom. That would be perfect if you could make that happen. And oh, did I just do that? I sure did. Oops. Okay, well, we're going to glue this next. And I will let that dry and use my adhesive eraser and get that off. I didn't even see that skedaddled over there. All right. Then this one. Now that all the glue's off of it, I'll just put a little bit more right there. Again, this is the one where you want to make sure you get, so that's not correct. But when you turn it this way, you'll have the same margin on the bottom as you do on the top. Meaning over here, 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 and here should be the same. All right, then we're going to prep this with some dimensionals. And then what we can do is take off just the top row. And then this gets centered. Yep, centered top to bottom, left to right. Figure out which side you like up. That looks good to me. I'll go like that. Now, I know I didn't take off the other dimensionals, but I have to get vellum behind there, and I don't know exactly where I want the vellum to go. So we're just worrying about the top two for now. Okay, because I want this vellum to be down a little bit further than my label. Okay, so that's staged. Let's grab these guys. So these little leaves have no character except for, you know, the rounded edges. So what you want to do is grab a stylus, and if you do have a stylus, I think I have one in here. No. Thought I had the end of my take your pick tool in there. Whoa, did you see that? Oh man, the clothespin just broke. I saw it go flying through the air. Whoa, with the greatest of ease. Okay, well, that was a bad idea. I thought I had a stylus thing in there from my take your pick tool. It used to be in there, but did I really just do that? I did. Okay, so my stylus is sitting over here somewhere. Yep, I see it. I should have just walked over to get it to begin with, but I was being lazy. All right. Grab a silicone mat or grab a foam mat and did you hear all the papers fall? Yep. Fell out of my desk. So if I don't pick them up, I'm gonna step on them. So grab your silicone mat or a foam mat, and what you're gonna use is a stylus, and you can draw a little vein in your leaf. If you do that, it just, I don't know if you can even see it in the camera, but it gives it a little bit of character, right? You can see it right there. Makes it more leaf-like, right? Because there's a vein through the middle. You need a soft something or other underneath it to have the stylus work like that. All right, there's that. And this is now dry. You could have poked somebody's eye out, right? So that's gonna get covered up, but all we gotta do is get a little bit off the edge here. And that's where these adhesive erasers are perfect for it. It helps to pick up the glue, right like that, and then we'll get a little off there. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about this down here because I'm gonna be putting the pink piece over the top of it. All right, back in business there. So on the inside, I've got Get Well Soon and a little leaf. So let's do that. So I've got the little leaf is stamped in Old Olive. Good thing Tigger wasn't there. Yes, exactly. And I was wearing glasses, so I was good. And got the little leaf there. Perfect. So you guys, we had the used stamp sale. I was just thinking about it. We had the used stamp sale last week on Saturday. We did great. All my gals that contributed product to go into for the sale, a total of like $2,400 that got sold, which was awesome. So I got Thinking of You and Get Well Soon in Espresso. So we're gonna put that guy right there. All right, that's nice. I can handle that. And then that's it for there. The Thinking of You, when you stamp that, it is more to the right than centered because the foliage goes over the top of this. So we're going to do Thinking of You right about there. Oh, yeah. All right, nice, very nice. That's it for that. Then there's a little bit from Swirled Designs, yes, this guy right here. And that's done in crumb cake, or the crumbs of the cake. But you're going to want to stamp off to get second strength. So we'll go like that. And I think it's second strength. Yeah, it's second strength. Okay. Not that it was third. So we're going to do this one. And go like that. And like that. And one there. And one more like that. All right, so all it did was it gave it a little bit of texture around the edge. And it doesn't have to be this one. It could be any one that you like. That gives it a little bit of texture so it's not so stark vanilla. Hi, Sherry Ott. Okay, now we got that done. So what's going to happen is this is going to get glued right through the middle, and then this gets glued on the inside. Like that. So we knew that this little vanilla strip was going to cover up our empty middle area here. That's why we were okay. So you're probably thinking, well, that's not a lot of paper to like not use, but we had strips, I believe, of that one, or there was something going on. And we thought, well, if we are able to cut it like this, we had enough sheets that we didn't have to open up another pack of designer paper. Like that would have been fine, but we really didn't want to open up another pack of designer paper. All right. So there's that. And then we've got the Get Well going on the inside. It's a pretty Get Well card. It could also be for a birthday. It could be for, it could be an anniversary card too. So many occasions. This is an all occasion type of card. So then the reason that I waited on taking these off is now I can flip this down here and get an idea of where it needs to go. And I think I am going to use tear and tape. And we'll go right through the middle area of that. Oh man, there it's the end of it. Gosh, I feel like we just finished a roll of tear and tape together the other day. Well, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, but I don't know if there's another one in there. I've been going through the tear and tape recently, so let's grab this little dude. We'll finish that off with that. So I always have an aversion to using liquid glue with vellum, so that's why I used tear and tape. And now what I'm going to do is lift this up. Now I can eyeball where this goes, and I'm going to make sure I'm flush on the left and it's down about 3/16 or 1/4 inch, probably 1/4 inch. And then when I drop it down, I just want to make sure it's nice and straight. So that's good. So that's glued. And now that that's where it is and it needs to be, we can pick the backs off of this. I do this a lot with designing. If I don't know where things are going to go, but I want them there, I'll get them somewhat attached, but then leave them so that I can sneak things underneath. And now that when that fell, I want it to go just a little straighter. And then this will get flipped over. And liquid glue. Hi, Catherine. Happy Thursday to you too. And now this will go over the old olive. I haven't used this color combination for a little while, but I do like the old olive with the petal pink. All right. This now, I was a little bit quick here. That needs to go under here. So I'm glad I didn't do too much. So if you've already glued yours down like I did, you could trim a little bit off of here. And then it should land where you want it to. I think I'm going to use the tear and tape again. And we're going to put that kind of through the middle, just because there's a lot of little dies that are going to go over the top to kind of mask the tear and tape. All right, make sure you put that cut side down. It hangs over the left a little bit. Like right there. What gems and ribbon is Kelly using for the Winnie the Pooh Stamp-a-Stack? Donna, she's using the antique pearls and the basic beige ribbon. So if you look up antique pearls and basic beige ribbon, you'll find them. I believe that they're on Last Chance. All right, so that's done. Then this one, we're going to pop it up with some dimensionals. I'm not going to worry about the tail because it should tuck underneath here. So like that looks good. And then this one also will get a dimensional. And then this little guy. So he is actually up higher like this. And because that flower is there, it's making him look taller when in fact he doesn't really reach the bottom. So it's a way to give him some vitamins so it can grow a little bit. All right, I'm not going to worry about gluing the top at the moment either, but that is like a little bit hanging out over that. And then this one comes around the edge like that, and then you have this one. And that one we have hanging off to the side a little bit. Okay, and now I haven't really officially glued everything, so if you need to move things over or rearrange, you could still pick them up and put them down. Donna said, what set did the Get Well Soon come from? It actually comes from the set that we're working with in this card. It's called Friendly Foliage. So let me grab these. It was this right here, Friendly Foliage. It's the Get Well Soons on the top right, and Sending Love. That's where the Thinking of You comes from. Lots of good words on this one. Okay, so then this guy, oh, what do we do? I think that's all good. I popped this up with a dimensional, so let's do that. And then grab a little liquid glue, 42. I'm going to run it right up the vein here, or the spine. I know liquid glue can be hard for people, because if you get it everywhere, it goes everywhere. So you gotta be really careful with it. So then this is gonna go right about there. Okay, and now the flower can go right there. And then I've got 3 gems. And I'm only seeing 2. Oh, there it is, upside down. All right, so I'm gonna put the little dude. Oh, I have 2 bigs. So I'm going to put a little one. I have a little one and 2 medium-ish ones. So I'm going to put the 2 that aren't the same there. And then whatever the third one that you have is, That's what should go in the middle of the flower. All right. Hang on. Let's use that guy. There it is. Donna says she has been searching for that. Thank you very much. You betcha. I'm glad that I could help you. Oh, I know why I got the set I did. My little flower it needs a little help. So I just looked at my die cut here, and I have a little bit of my flower cut off. It's a little bit more square than it should be. So all I have to do to fix that is take a scissors and round it off, just like that. And then no one will ever know that was partially missed, right? And so you put that like that. And then grab your little glue dots, roll one up, and put it right on that little stem. And you can drop the linen thread bow right in that. I do love linen thread. It is a perfect element to add to any card that it matches with. So I shouldn't say every card, but lots of cards. And trim your tails. And then what you can do for stellaing, these guys right here could get stellaed. The little flower could have gotten stellaed. And sometimes it's easier to stella the stuff before you put it on your card, but usually it's an afterthought for me. And then the other thing too is this green leaf needs a little bit of extra support too. He's really hanging on by a thread. So I'm just gonna pull that back and put a little dot of glue right there, and then help that by holding it till it dries. All right. Whoop, whoop. All right, we got 2 done. That's a pretty soft. It's very like soft and soothing colors. That's what that is. So, and we accomplished the goal of using friendly foliage. We just didn't use the main focal stamp. There it is. Okay. So I know a lot of you by now have gotten your packages, except for Sherry Stewart, but a lot of everybody else got your packages. And what we did, I was talking about the cards that I made in all my lives last year. I think there was about 250 cards. So I have the majority of them out and about to people. So if you got I did a list. I had to go through somehow and make a list of, I went by people who took classes with me and people who placed orders, and I kind of like, it got ranked, and then we went down to a certain point and we wrote people's names on cards, not on cards, but like on a little slip of paper. So if you got that in your envelope or in your box or your package, just know that's a little extra bonus from me. So we used to give out cards with like people commenting on the YouTube lives. And you guys probably know we haven't done that for probably, I'd have to say, for a year. So I had almost every card from last year that was here. And we went through and we just put them out. I think about 200 people got cards from me. And if you haven't gotten it yet, you might still be getting it because I still have a box here. I have a box with probably 50 of them in it, so that it's, we're waiting for you to get your next class or package. And we'll see what May brings, and after May, then I can always pop them in the mail. But yay, there's that card. And that, again, that goes with your vanilla. So the vanilla matches that really nicely. So your vanilla envelope. And then there was one. And so our last card is the fishing card. All right, so let's grab this one. And that is this guy. We have a little blending to do on this one. And so you'll find some gems. Now, I did give some people brown gems, and I gave some people crumb cake gems. So I couldn't find where I had all of my gems like this. I think I had them somewhere and I couldn't find them. So we ended up giving crumb cake. And the crumb cake looks really pretty with it too. So just know that you might have a variance in the gems. And this one is your mixed up patterns designer paper. And it does look like this. And what we have to do is blend it blue with Misty Moonlight and a sponge blending brush. So you have your little pylon and you have this guy. Now, I will say that when these got die cut, almost everybody in my in-person class, they didn't have it cut out, just like I don't either. So I think what happens is the die had stuff stuck in it, and it got cut out even more, and like this isn't coming out. So you can see on this card, you can see the espresso coming through the rope, and on this one you can't, right? The hole's not there. And normally you can cut through it and help assist it. And I didn't know what I was going to do when I got mine, but I'm trying to think if I have a little X-Acto knife, or I'm just going to go with, oh, that's exactly what I didn't want to do. I don't want to make myself bleed. It's not worth it. But I wanted to get in here with a scissors and see if I can give it the assist. So we did notice that in class on Monday that a lot of them, like not all, but about half, they weren't die cut all the way through. But if you can see here, I got in here and part of it popped out then. If you have these dies, by all means, you could run them through the die cutting machine again. But I'd have to guess that the people that got this class don't necessarily have these dies. That would be my guess. So I'm trying to think if like an X-Acto knife would have been a little bit easier to do. Yeah. Yeah. And the other option is just to leave it too, right? But now that I got this one here, I don't know. Well, I feel bad if I go use the die cut piece. If I go get the die cut and die cut it, then you guys, I was going to try to see how bad this, well, that's my ribbon scissors. Get that out of here. I don't want to use that. So I want to try this one more time without making myself bleed. So I know if I had like a foam mat, it would probably help. But this is, let's just see here. Let's go from this way. There. It's like once you get it, okay, so a pokey tool. Oh, there we go. That helps. Okay, so a pokey tool. I hear a kitten. Hunky Noodle Boy. Incoming, guys. So, that helped. I see you, buddy. Yup, I knew you were coming up here. Watch out. Don't cut my whiskers, Mom. I know. So once you can get in there with that pokey tool, that's when you can take the scissors. No, buddy. You don't want to push your mouth on the scissors. Then if you can use the pokey tool to help poke in, then it will help to get this middle. Now, I would have to say a bunch of you would be like, yeah, that's not worth it. I'm just going to put it down exactly how it is. And whoever gets the card's really not going to know that that didn't come out. Mom, you're not petting me. Oh, buddy. You hear him purring? All right, let's just give this just 30 more seconds to see if I can make any improvements to it. But it really did help to take the pokey tool with like that silicone mat and something softer. Now, we don't try to really make you guys struggle bust like this. And I did not catch that these dies didn't cut through all the way. I did not catch that. And none of my helpers caught that. So I'm almost going to be done here. But I feel like, hi. What's up, buddy? It was so funny. Elaine, I think it was Elaine, right? Elaine Pranio said to me last week, she texted me after class and she said, my dog just loved, not her words exactly, but close to her words, they loved watching Honey's tail twitching on the video last week. It was driving her dog crazy. Just the dog wanted to go through the TV to get the tail. All right, I'm good with that. So I struggle bust it. I got it to work. My tip is to take your pokey tool and try to poke into it and then loosen it up with the scissors. Okay, so I worked at it. I think that when I put this on here, I'll be able to see some of the espresso through there, and I'm good with it. Hunky, sweetie, no whiskers. were harmed in the cutting here. Exactly. Yes, buddy. Oh, he has been so stressed out. This kitten, it's been raining and thundering and lightning for the last 3 days, since last week, on and off. But he hates the thunder and the lightning so much that he just hides in the basement. So our underweight kitten is even skinnier because he hasn't been eating and he hasn't been sleeping and he's been shaking like a little leaf on a tree. All right, so blending brush with Misty Moonlight ink. And you're going to blend some Misty Moonlight ink. And you don't have to worry about the middle section. Hi, Jane Beal, because the middle section is going to get covered up. All right, so there's one side. Let's rotate. And you can have it not be even because it's supposed to represent water. And water doesn't always look the same, depending on how you're looking at it. All right. You can go darker, you can stay lighter. It's your water. You can make it look however you want it to look. All right. Okay, so we've got that. Again, don't have to worry about going through the middle section. Okay, on the inside on here, I've got a paddle in the water. So I've got the Misty Moonlight ink open. I'm gonna find my white piece here and I'll stamp the water. Hi, Kathy Booker. I'm gonna stamp it at second strength, I think, because that's a little dark. So that's representing the waves that the paddle makes, but that was it for blue. So I thought, let's get that done right away. All right. So then we're done with all that. You see, I lost a lily pad here already. So here's one, and then there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then there's some flowers for your lilies. Poor Hunky Boy. Your boy Pepper has been hiding in the closet. Yeah! Hunky's been hiding in the base, the stairs that go down to the basement, underneath them. And poor little kitten, like they have no idea what's going on. So your little paddle here is embossed with the wood grain embossing folder. And then you've got this piece of white, which fits into the middle of the textured notes die. And then you have the mat. And then there would be a little piece of blue ribbon. Now I've cut this in half. This ribbon is actually double as wide. And what I did is I cut it down the middle because it was just too thick to use otherwise. I mean, probably could have worked, but it's easier to cut it in half. So let's just line that up. And we're going to burnish that. And so that's going to go on the top. That'll go on the top. Then on here we still have congratulations. So we thought this would be great for a graduation card for a boy or a girl who likes to paddle or whatever. It says, it's a great big world out there, right? So if they're just graduating and making it a congratulation card, that works. So we've got congratulations over here. And then I've got the paddle in crumb cake. And then that will go, hey, like it's just propped up on the side here. Like that. And then on the little saying here is in espresso. It's a great big world out there. Do, 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 do. Isn't that Annie? Oh, it's a hard knock life. Okay. It's a great big world out there. I was singing that song to the Annie beat, I guess. All right, so that's done on the inside. This is just pretty much centered top to bottom, left to right. And you definitely need the big E block for this. Sentiment. Just want to make sure there's enough ink there. All right. Oh, Nancy, your cats have been hiding too. Willow would hide behind the toilet. Aw, sad. Like, if they only knew. But it was really okay. All right. It looks like it's going downhill to me. And I'm going to flip it over and try one more time because I can. So let's have it come uphill just a hair and be good with whatever happens. Okay, so that is the last of the espresso. So while that marinades a little bit, I'm going to grab this and put a little bit of liquid glue behind there. And then, whoa. That goes on the top here. So I'll let that sit and dry for a moment. And then we can prep tear and tape. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna go look for more tear and tape. I want to use big tear and tape for my ribbon here. All right, I found some in my toolbox. So I'm gonna put on the back side some tear and tape there. I'm gonna have one waiting in the wings. And let's see. Okay, I can live with that. Then our ribbon is a loop, a tail, and a tail. Now, I think that you have, what, 6 inches here? 5 inches, probably 5 inches. So let's make our loop. We're gonna start just above the middle, make our tail, or our loop, and then our tail. I feel like there's enough that if you'd want to do 2 loops and 2 tails, you could. So if that's the case, let's see here. I'm gonna go up just a hair higher. I'm gonna make a smaller loop, and then a little bit bigger of a loop. And then I'm gonna go like that, and that's how much I have. And if I cut that like so, I'm gonna grab the tear and tape here. I'm only gonna peel off the bottom so that this, I cut it at an angle. So now I can grab that and attach that, and it's already cut to the right angle. There it is. So I did use exactly the same amount of ribbon that everybody else got, and I did 2 loops and 2 tails. Now it all just depends on how big you make your loops and how big you make your tails. And we'll put a little tear and tape there. And then this can get popped up. All right, and then we get glue, 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 and glue. All right, ready for it? It's gonna be a cat-free zone right now. That, and that. All right, let's see what we do first. Let's grab the Misty Moonlight, and you can see here that we were strategic and we die cut this textured note out of the middle of that. We did that because this will cover up the middle. All right, and then this goes on the inside. Just like so. And then this one goes right in the middle here of our rectangle. And then these can get picked off. And when I adhere this, I actually put it a little bit higher than the middle. So if you put it in the middle, you're going to have everything a little bit heavier and squished down here. So I put it a little bit more north of the equator. So something like that. So this side, that side, and the top all kind of are the same, and then there's just a little bit more on the bottom. Okay, then this little guy. So this little part of that will get cut off. what I did is I glued it flush on here and then flush on the bottom. It kind of is at an angle. So when you grab the tear-in tape, it's just a little bit too long. Ooh, but not by much. Okay, so that's okay. We're gonna do that and pick that off. Any part that was extra, just roll back. And then another strip right next to it. And then it partly covers up the edge. And then once you've got that on there, you can see now how much to cut off. And I have it cut right on the inside of the designer paper. So like that. And then our paddle, I've got that popped up. Figure out which side you want to see up and then put 2 dimensionals at the bottom. And then you're going to estimate where to put the liquid glue. So what you could do is go like that, eyeball it, and say like right there, okay? And then your paddle's gonna go across the pylon like that. Okay, very good. And then our lily pads. Let's see here. There's 2 that are somewhat bigger, like Tigger, and they will go on the card off like that, those 2 bigger ones. And then there are 3 that are kind of middle-sized and 2 that are smaller. So I've got the 2 smaller ones down there, and then a middle one, and then 2 of the other middle ones over here. So my card over here actually has 3 small ones. So figure out how you want to do it. We could probably put a small one there. No, I was okay with it like that. So these dies, there comes 5 on one die, and then I think there's a die that has 2 single ones. And what we just did is we did general sizes. So that, I mean, it's like pain in the butt. You do 60 of these. And so it was 5 that are connected and then 2 that are I think those 2 are connected, or I think they're loose actually. So it was just a little bit of a pain in the butt to work with them when you're doing just so many of them. So I said, Anna, you don't have to really pay attention to it. Just get them, like the big ones together and the small ones together, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip these all upside down, and then we're gonna put liquid glue on them, and then we're going to place them on. Now you gotta be careful because these all have like lines that are die cut. So if you put too much glue on them, and when you push them down, the glue might ooze through the lines. So just be aware of that. So I'm going to try to be strategic with where I put the glue and not doing too much of it. But think of the die cutters. God bless the die cutters, right? Oh my goodness. Can you imagine die cutting 60 of those little things? And then for my kidders to put all these little pieces together. I think I helped kit this one. Oh, because my mom, like, she hates these small pieces. I know she does. All right, so this is where the scalpel comes in handy. So let's grab this one. It's a tweezers, by the way, not a scalpel, but I call it a scalpel. Okay, so then this one is going like that. And then that one's going like that. Oh, I lost one. Did I lose one? 2, 4, I lost one. Hang on. I thought I had 7. I know I had 7. So this guy's gonna go right there. I wonder if it's on my arm. Okay, he's gonna go right there. And then he's here. And then, there it is. Where did that come from? Was it there the whole, I'm so confused. Okay, well that, I feel like this bigger one will go better there. And then we are gonna, I could have sworn I just lost it and now it's here. Okay, put that one right there. All right, then this one is flat. And the flat one goes right there. And then this little guy, I popped him up with a dimensional. And I think the small dimensionals fit just perfectly in him. And then that one is popped up. All right, very good. Okay, doke. Gems. Now, you either got crumb cake or you got the espresso. So, I got the espresso in mine. So, I will put them. The crumb cake actually look a little bit softer. So, if you got the crumb cake ones, I think you're not going to be disappointed by the crumb cake because it brings out the crumb cake paddle and the card base. It teleported. Did you guys know it was missing and then all of a sudden it just like showed up? That's what I saw. I mean, that's what I believe I saw. So, all right. We did it. So Stella, Ella. Let's Stella the daylights out of our lily pads here. And then you can Stella your pylon. You could also Stella your paddle. Last of the lily pads. Okay. Whoop whoop. All right. Very good. Very good. So we got her done. And look at that. It's just 8 o'clock right now. I like it. Mikey likes it. So we got all 3 cards made. We talked a lot. We went over lots of stuff. So anybody that joined later, not late, like you can't be late for class because you can come whenever it works for you. But if you came in later, so we went through lots of stuff this like before class. We went through a lot of upcoming classes that we have for May that we've got designed, and we went through some of the past, like the current classes for the month that I have ready to go or still have kits left for. So we just finished the last card though for class tonight. So you've got your Sunshine and Tulips card, your Friendly Foliage, and then our Peaceful Dock. So we got them done. Very nice. So yes, if you guys missed, you might want to go back and try to catch the beginnings. You see what we've got for we've got the Winnie the Pooh class coming up. Kelly also has here, I gotta show you this one. She's got a Celebration Expressions class that she's doing, but we designed the cards off. You can't hear me, hang on. We designed these cards together about 2 weeks ago already now, and we had a lot of fun doing this. It's the Celebration Expressions Memories and More pack. And again, I didn't show this off, but these are ready to go. This is like a Stamp-a-Stack, but we call it a Memories and More class, and it has, you'll make 3 of each of these cards. So it features the Balloon Festoons, which is a newer bundle that is not newer. It is new. That's coming out next month. And then it features the Celebration Expression. So we had so much fun. We didn't realize that this Memories and More pack had so much potential. We were a little bit overwhelmed thinking about it. But then when we could couple in the Balloon Festoon with it, it really brought this Memories and More pack to life. So we took the Memories and More pack and we made 6 different designs. And we're kitting up 3 of each of the designs for you. So you'll have 18 cards. And it only uses half of the Memories and More pack. That is always my goal, is to only use half the pack. And yeah, and then it's so pretty. So yeah, so I didn't even show those off earlier, but these are also ready to go. And so Kelly's doing that class. I believe we've got her time on the calendar set aside for May 7th for that one. So our shipping day next month, though, is set for May. I think our shipping day is May 8th or 11th, or I can't remember. I know it's not the first week, but I think it's the 13th as our shipping day. We don't generally get shipping done. We always kit that first week, and then we ship like the beginning of the next week. So that's generally most of your classes you have in time for when I'm live, and then there's just a couple in the beginning of the month that you don't have. So yeah, so Debbie says, Alec, great. You love the soft colors of the foliage card. Yeah, right? They're super cool. I love the petal pink with the old olive and the crumb cake. Turned out good. Susan likes the tulip card. Nancy Soul Kelly has outdone herself. Yes, we sure did. Yeah, you guys, I really cracked the whip on her. We sit together, and so she sits across from me, and I sit on the side, and it's definitely a brain power of 2 when it comes to that, and she's learning a lot. So I've never designed so many cards as I have with Kelly since the last 4 months, and she's really working on trying to earn Costa Rica. And so she's basically, it's great having a protege that is following kind of in my footsteps, right? She really loves what I'm doing and wants everything for herself And she knows she has to work hard at it and build a business. And so that's what she's working at. And you guys can really probably see that over the last 4 months. She's really stepped up and is like, I'm going to do this class. I'm going to do this class. I'm going to do this class. And so it's hard. It's hard on me a little bit because it's good. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But it's hard because it's like, well, now we're designing like a lot more classes. So I've got her classes all designed with her, and I still have two and a half of my classes to design, which would not have normally been done, but now they're still working. I'm working on them. So yeah, so Lucky Girl gets her classes done ahead of time, and then I'm working on mine yet. So yeah, but it's nice, you guys. It's a lot more fun designing cards with somebody versus doing things by yourself. After designing classes for 10 years, every card that gets created and basically done between me and now Kelly are all designed upstairs with us. Like, I don't have anybody else that does designing for me. I am involved in every single card, and I'm sitting with somebody. And so with Kelly, then we sit across from each other, or when I'm with Diane, we sit across from each other. So it's just more fun having somebody else to design with. And it's the brain power of two people make for better, prettier cards, I think. Because when you're working by yourself, you second guess and you take a lot longer and you think, is that good or is that not good? Or are people going to like this? But when you've got somebody you're knocking ideas off of each other, like everything is better. It goes so much better. So I feel like we knocked those Winnie the Pooh cards. These guys, you guys, I would never have expected these to come out the way they did. But when we were working together, they just came out perfectly. Like, I don't think like you can't ask for better cards, and like they just came out perfect. So if you're needing birthday cards, this is definitely the class to sign up for too. So yeah, we did great. I love it. Definitely gotta say, it was teamwork makes the dream work, you guys. So Kelly will have, I just said to her, I'm like, Kelly, you know you have 3 we designed them together and she's kitting up 3 of them. But she's learning and making sure that she kits them up exactly how I would kit them up here, right? So you guys won't notice any difference. Like, you shouldn't notice any difference between, like, if you got the paper pumpkin altered and edited, she kitted those up at her house with her mom, which is perfect because it's basically, she got the proceeds from the class. And this coming month though, we've got that Winnie the Pooh class for you. We've got the celebration expressions. And then we're also going to be, that's what we're doing on Tuesday. Tuesday, we're going to be designing the Waterside Retreat paper pumpkin alternative. So we've got one more class to design next week, Tuesday, for her. And then I have the Stampin Fun in the Sun, and then 6 classes. So you guys, we have lots for you. If you thought there was a lot in April, there's also going to be a lot in May as well. So yeah. So Lori says, I love your ideas and love listening to you discuss your cards. Aw, thank you. Well, because they're all my little children, you guys. So when you look at the cards, you see cards, I see kids. And people say, how do you remember? So like Gloria was asking if she could use my Dino stamp set while she's here. And I had to think about, it was in the spring catalog of last year, and those stamps are upstairs and I had to remember where stuff is. And she's like, how do you remember? I'm like, well, I remember doing a class last April that featured that set. She's like, but how do you even remember that? I'm like, well, I remember all my children. So yeah, so it's all good. So Kelly's cards have more ribbon. Oh, no, they don't. Well, more lamb technique. Let me see. Nancy said Kelly has more ribbon. Oh, I don't know. Kelly does. Let's look here. This one has a little bit more ribbon than normal, but I would say, okay, I do a little bit tighter of a loop, right? So like I would have had a little bit closer, but like that's the same way. That I feel is very similar. That is very similar. They all have ribbon, loop, tail. That's my speed. Loop, loop, tail, tail. That looks familiar. That's a loop and a tail. Loop, loop, tail, tail. I don't know, Nancy. I don't know if they have much more ribbon than mine. That's exactly... And I'll be honest with you. I told her where to put the ribbon and how much ribbon to put down. So, okay, this is the card you're talking about right here. That is a classic Kelly lamb technique, okay? So Kelly came up with this. She's been doing this for many, I'd have to say at least 4 years. She calls this the lamb technique. So yes, Nancy, you saw this card, and that is totally Kelly. All the rest of those 14... I didn't know how she was going to do ribbon on this card, but all the rest of them are totally like up my speed for ribbon. So, but you're right. That one was totally Kelly. That's Kelly's ribbon. That's her technique. She's coined that. So she said, but what you watching me make cards with your kittens? I think I am ready to go looking for a bonded pair of kittens. Aw, needing a home. Yes. Find a pair of kittens that need some love and give them a happy home. I would have to say yes. Yes. Nancy, I just read your comment. That is the one. Yeah. The cats love it. You guys, I have pictures. I can even share this with you. Here, let me show you. If you want to see some kitten pictures. So we're upstairs designing, and the kittens are involved heavily in the designing. So this was just yesterday. So I sit over here, and Diane or Kelly or whoever sits over here. And can you see this? Does that kitten not own, I know he's not a kitten. He's going on 3 years old, but he's still a kitten to me. He's our 15 pounds of hunka burnin' love. So that's Bigger Tigger. And look at him. He's like owning the recipe. Like, so Diane was starting to write the recipe card out, right? And he just puts his paw on it. Like, no, this is me. This is my space, right? So I got up and I had to take a picture of him. And then, let's see here, I think. Okay, and then Kelly was over yesterday, and she took a break to have lunch. And these two yahoos, that's Bigger Tigger and Honey, begging her for her tuna, right? So she made some tuna dinner, and they just, she's teasing them. She's putting the fork in front of them just to have them smell it. So here we were working on ink, paper, scissors. So that was yesterday, right? Teasing the kittens, right? So we were just working away, and they're like, Kelly, where's the food? And then I think there's a few more. Okay, then let me just back up. See here, lots of card pictures. Car pictures here. Oh, that's Hunky Noodle. Okay. So this was one of the incentive trip bags that I got when I went to Mexico. And Tigger happened to find his way into the bag. And I had to pick him up in the bag, right? And show him off. And then Tigger has there's a basket on the counter. And he just happened to go into the basket. And isn't he so cute? And he's like, I'm a little Easter bunny in a basket. See? All right. And then is there one more? Oh, Kelly was working on, so that's got some stamping stuff in it, and she put her jacket down, and he finds anything soft, and he's got to go and make his way into that soft flannelly, like here he's trying to make cookie dough with it. But yes. And then here, Mom's working on cards with me last week, and Tigger has to come supervise. So she was laying out, so Mom helped me, you guys. So if you got a card from me, we have your name, right? So we got your name with washi tape on the outside of the envelope. And then I put a little form in there that said, thank you for your support, and what the card was all about. And so Mom helped me put like all 200 of them that we sent out together. But there's Tigger. He's just supervising. Yep, he comes and he actually laid there for a moment, but then he like sprawled and splayed himself all over in front of Mom, right? And she's like, just pet me. And he's part of everything. These kittens are. I think then that might be it for kittens. Oh, so Susan Devine and Michelle Foreign shipped me some stuff. And apparently Susan's cat was making this box the home for a little bit. And so all three of these cats had to, wait, it's right. They were all like back to back. Okay, so Tigger had to go put himself on the box first. He smelt cat on there. And then Hunky had to go investigate the box. And then Honey, and she was smelling the box. So the cats know when you guys send stuff from your homes that have pets as well. And so, yeah. So anyways, that's a whole lot of cat stuff for you guys in case you're wondering. So, yeah, I think that goes back. Oh, here. And then you guys might have seen this one. So Tigger was helping us design the in-color cards, and he just had to lay all over everything. He finds a spot and he hunkers down, and he actually flipped himself over this way, and then he pushed all of that stuff almost off the edge, and my catty did fall on the floor and it chipped the corner. So yeah, so he kind of like puts himself all over wherever he thinks he can fit in. So yeah, so there's a little cat action for you guys. Lots of it. So hi, Teenager. Yes. All right. So yeah. Fun stuff. The cats are definitely a part of the live, so they're not going anywhere at this point. So, all right. I think that's it. You guys, I did mention earlier on the live that Sandy Coy Emery was the only one who placed an order to get this class for free. So I will have a door prize for her. I also went back. I didn't do it before I did shipping this month in April, but I went back to January. And if you guys have been watching me since January, you'll probably know that I did not have my book ready for the first part of January, and I didn't have January in my book until later in January. And so everything that there were drawings for January classes, I didn't do them until basically last week. And so I have a whole bunch of door prizes to make up for people from January, February, March, and April for those people that place orders to get classes for free. And so then also the drawings that I do. Now, I know a bunch of people had 4 people won stamp sets from me for placing an order, and those I got mailed out. So yay. I got some of it out. So Susan said it was funny that the cats smelled your cat. Definitely. They were like that on that box, like hawks, like just, hey, what's going on here? Investigating. So, but yeah, so I've got a little bit to make up for on some of the door prizes. But you guys, we've been moving a mile a minute. And I know that some people are waiting for emails back from me. And I need to live in my emails for about, I would have to say 5 to 8 hours to get caught up on some emails. So if you need something that is really important, definitely call me and say, hey, can you send this to me? Or can you do this? I really need this to continue on with my life, with making these cards. I'm always available if you want to just give me a quick call. I try to see things in my inbox, but it doesn't always work out that way to get back to people. So it's hard to be in, and you guys know, I've talked about this. It's hard to be designing and kitting and prepping and going to an appointment and coming back, and then emails galore. So I will get working on them probably early next week, just start hunkering down. My main focus now is I've got 2 classes to design for between now and basically Monday morning. And then I've got a huge team meeting on Sunday that I'm preparing for. And then it'll be like Monday, we'll be like, okay, let's start getting through some emails. So, okay, I think that's it. All right, you guys. If I missed anything, when will I be live with you guys again? Today's the 16th. Tomorrow's the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. On Monday. You guys, we have Let's Just Stamp at 1. Yay. And then we have Mystery Card Night following at 6 p.m. So I will be live with you guys again on Monday. And then I think then I have a Share, Create, Inspire that is on the calendar for Wednesday the 22nd at 2 p.m. And I'm going to see if Annette Rollin, who's back from Arizona now, I'm going to see if she will write up a recipe for me to make a card with you guys on Wednesday. And then we have Nature Symphony class on Thursday night. And I have plenty of that class, like tons of it left. And then we have the Delicate Whispers class on Friday at 1 or 2, I think it's at 2 p.m. And then we have the card benefit on Saturday. So next week is going to be a powerhouse of lots of classes and lots of stuff going on. So I will plan a showcase showdown sometime next week. If I can make it happen, I will do it between Thursday and Friday. So I don't know when. I just have to look at what those days look like for activities of what's happening around here. But I'm pretty certain by those days we'll have everything designed, because Kelly and I are planning to do Paper Pumpkin alternative class on Tuesday, and I've got the catalog launch party, and I have the monthly class, and we're trying to get the monthly class done tomorrow, and then that leaves the catalog launch party. So yeah, so there's probably going to be a showcase between Thursday and Friday, and if not, it'll be on Monday the 27th. So we're going to get there sooner rather than later. So the kittens recognize cat lovers. They certainly do. All right, you guys, I think I'm good. If you're good, I don't see any things that really have come in asking for questions, but I loved it. My favorite, I don't know, I was between, they're all good, right? They're all great. I think if I had to pick, I'd pick this one, only because of it's so bright and cheerful, and I love the flowers. So it was good. I think I'd pick that one. Because if friends were flowers, I'd pick all of you. Right? Yay. All right, you guys, lots of sunshine, love, and big hugs to you. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great rest of your week and a great weekend. Bye, everybody.